Welcome, everybody, to Oceanside Library's Poetry Near and Afar. We have two wonderful poets lined up here tonight, one from Florida, Jennifer Nuesi, and one right here from Long Island, our own Doreen Spungin. The Poetry Near and Afar is brought to you by the Oceanside Library, and we look forward to continuing to be a leader in the poetry world here on Long Island and afar. And so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Nuesi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much, Tony, for having me in Oceanside Library. I am so excited to be reading a few of my favorite pieces from my recently published book titled Things. Towards the end of the reading, I can definitely share a link, a little bit more information in regards to the book. It is a visual poetry collection that showcases how anxiety can affect all different aspects in addition to dealing with depression, loneliness, heartbreak, and loss. So with that being said, I will go ahead and get started. And this first piece is a really great intro of what you should be expecting from the next couple of pieces. So here goes. When I think I'm alone, I should think about that twice, because alone is never the setting placed on my mind. Anxiety keeps me company. Depression has made a home. Taken a portion of the living room while anxiety claimed the shelves on the wall. Negative thoughts stuff junk drawers and linen closets with regrets and denials that I can't let go. I'm a hoarder of depression, a collector of the anxious, because I can't seem to just find an end to these habits of mine. When will I clean out? Have a garage sale and leave. Throw all the things that can't let me breathe. Be in my own place without finding some place. Tense words say what I am. Nothing, useless, worthless, trash. Isn't that the collection of rocks that I can't bear to let go? Weighing me down and taking me under, and below to the basement where I pack up the most. Neglect on the floor, abuse on the edges, piles high of heartbreaks, headaches of regrets. Shattered wishes and what ifs tangle the ceiling. Hand me a trash bag. I'm about to begin. Thank you. And this next piece. This is a tale of the fears that men don't feel. A tale of how a brush and a rush can lead to a touch that can lead to touches, can lead to a snag of the hair, that twist of the wrist, a wince, that can lead a redirection, a disconnection, that can lead to a shove, lead to a push, that leads to a hush, to shakes and earthquakes of the body, this body, my body, that has somehow morphed into your body, even after the screams, the cries, the bites. The sight of my tears still somehow gave you the green light to have your way with me, my property, now improperly your property, that you staked your claim in me, on me, and now I can't get your 10 minutes of fame off me. In me, around me, it surrounds me, chokes me, holds me, and takes me back to the black, that uncommon, common place where I watch you take and make my body into nobody. Thank you. And this next piece. Your legacy seeps within my skin, devours my insides and makes them heard. Your loud traits, your unseemly desires, to break, to throw, to burn, everything, everyone to the ground. There is never a fault with you. Victim in a state comatose, dewy eyes and choked up sobs of imaginary mishaps that led you here, when in truth, This is what you are. That is what you left me. Left me to deal with the anger, boiling like volcanic roars in my stomach. Left me with the damage of seeing imperfections in the perfect divine of I. Left me with guilt for breathing, for seeing, for being. You left me with a pain so deep that an ocean couldn't fill. Left me with an empty so cold the sun would melt. Left me without an escape of the cage, locked up in tensions that never were my blame. This is what you left me now to give, to pass down for another to bear. Inheritance. Thank you. And for this specific reading, I wanted to pick this particular poem just because it flows so well with the next poem that comes. But this is a very personal piece to me. Just want to trigger warn for some. I'm tired of girls learning about sex from dark rooms and broken men who look to the clean bodies of unsoiled girls as a way to shake off their mistakes and amend some slight before. I'm tired of girls grabbed and pushed and fondled, and tired of too many hands and too many hugs, too many holding doors and too many locks. Tired of you coming into my house with a tree yawning or a cat calling or a patter on my roof. Can't you just poof, be gone? Tired of peace living lids at night, just so eyes can keep a vigilant guard on the knob of a threadbare door. Tired of being taken and took in my sleep, in my dreams, in my thoughts, in my being, in my memories of quiet threats and chalky hands. You had your way, you took your shots and dug deep, deep within me and took what was of me and made it we. And how can that be when there's only me? Can't they see that I'm just here physically, mentally? I'm checked out, gone to November, and they say nothing lasts forever, but you lasted. Permeated my secret soul and vibrating cells, and there you are. When I watched my daughter grow and blossom, there you are. With my wary eyes and grinding teeth, and having to explain how politeness for an older man will never be put on my child. How a lap is not a seat, how a kiss and lingering hugs are not to be demanded, how there can be no secrets and personal spaces are sacred places. Scream and fight with claw and tooth if ever anyone comes to take that essence of you, and never go down to dim-lit rooms just to watch some cartoons, and never ever believe that you are to blame, that you came looking, that you should have known, because baby, let me tell you, these wolves come in all shapes and sizes to pet you to a slow soul death. And I am tired of having to burn this in her brain and scream out her name at gatherings and play dates just because I am triggered to younger days of a similar point of view. And there I am looking at me be aloof like my mother because she thought it a safe place. But let me rephrase, because she thought that family and friends were one and the same, because she thought that in numbers there is safety, because she thought that this is the world that you grow up in, that you become in, and lurking dangers need to be met with alone, because that's all she knows. So I grabbed my daughter real close, too close, right next to me and never let go, and just how my mother grabbed me tight because that's all she knew, and in naive motions thought she was saving me, but nothing could save me from what I didn't know had been done. And I'm tired, so tired of not being the only one. Thank you. And I feel that's a very good, very powerful piece to transition over to one of my other favorite poems. How does it feel? They ask. As the hours blend into days, taking you out of every cell is a painful process. With tears and shouts, with scratches and sighs, with the memories lingering in the house like fog. How did it feel? They ask. My prayers met their answer. The soul made just for me, to be all for me to heal and mend. It was joy. It was perfect. It was flawed and beautiful, and still I loved it so. How will it feel? They ask. Shaken to the core, doubts consuming, peace is written off the script, to be saddened by the seconds in the hour, to be lonely in the crowds filled with laughter, to be empty with hands filled with grief. All I feel is feelings. Thank you. And for this particular reading, I also picked another favorite of mine that usually I don't read. And I really feel it goes well with the next piece. Oh, here goes. The bruise appears, a reminder of roughness I confused for foreplay. Indifference confused with passion, avoidance confused with shyness. How to clear the lens to see clearly. How to see clearly what the lens beholds. How to clearly state the signs of disinterest. How to see clear signs of drifting mind. Wandering in space and time. Wandering for the other person. Wandering in my caves, seeking the solace of what cannot be found. I lay there forgotten in spirit, but held in breath. I forget how my spirit is held. Deep breaths lay foundations to the emptiness inside. Swallow deep and gulp slowly the rhythm of flesh. I look outside into the spectacle before me as her name murmurs on your lips and you touch my lips. I'll play the game. I'll sit like a fool. What's one more time getting played by you? Thank you. And I really think it goes well with this piece. So here goes. Sometimes my feelings write stories, unspoken things that catch at my throat or slip up and stumble upon themselves when they cannot seem to express what they are, to the outer spaces of these places that they tend to wander into without an intro, just becoming deductions for existing within places that don't accept what they are, intangible emotions that are fighting to make space within the realm of us and we. Sometimes my feelings cause anger. When a shy girl like me with a quick wit and a quick-whipped tongue feels their emotions rise to the light and linger on the teeth they bite, to fight down the words that clamor for a place in my vocab, oh, barely do I get them back to a safe distance, a safe place that you cannot deduce nor contrive what I got for you inside. And with all that willpower at its peak, my body is hot and my belly is fire, to where all I have left is to lash out at the fact that my eloquent and elegant proclamation to make you mine has to sit in the back seat while rage takes a ride on that Pontiac Pride, where my voice booms and shakes you up and rattles your cage just to get a reaction, to avoid interactions. The dance of my feelings and emotions colliding to encrypt the message that looms in the waltz between tales and gestures. And there it is, the final curtain, the last hurrah, the goodbye, the it's not you, it's me, but it's really you. And yeah, you're cool, but just too cool, you know. And there it goes. The story of devotionals dedicated to you, whisked away by the strength in my veins, the voice of anger with a message for you. There it goes. Sometimes my feelings write endings. Thank you. And this one is my favorite one of all time. And I feel like after we're done listening to it, I'll tell you why. So here goes. When saying sorry isn't enough, when apologies don't cover the bills, when hunger strikes the belly, your sorry won't feed me. When the memories flood back of the pain and mistrust, your sorry won't erase from my mind. Keep the sorry, show me the regret. Keep the sorry, show me the fear. Keep the sorry, show me the understanding. Tie together the comprehension of the life you tattered, how you closed my eyes and placed rocks on the lids while the mental pictures play over and over. How my body, tiny and frightened, tight under overgrown hands, feasting on a meal of innocence. How the sweet taste of fresh milk and snow white honey lulled you into a trance of rhythm and movement that wasn't made aware to young eyes. How you went about your day and never had a thought about the pain you caused as you kept coming back to the hive of my nectars over and over and over. So tell me, where was the sorry in your dance of repetition? So now that the empty phrase, I'm sorry, decided to bubble from your mouth after your body won't function, after the sins have caught up, after the fun was less. So now is when I finally get that apology that the old me wanted, the young me needed to feel, to be free of a weighted guilt of another, to bury the anxiety that creeps to my today, day after day, of the possibility of the next illicit interaction. So now is when you've come to say, I'm sorry for stealing my piece of peace now and forever, and I can't give it back, but to you, the sorry is enough. You think but a little bit. You think that your sorry has that much power to change the marble of a body that you've chiseled away, but then I came to sand the scars away and create a masterpiece, an artist. I am Michelangelo of aggression, a Picasso of pain. So when you come to feed me a sorry, regardless of the intention, remember, I don't eat. I'm sorry, no more. Thank you. So that particular piece, I'm Dominican. So growing up, my family would always say, like my mom, if I would ever say like in English, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My mom would say in Spanish, like, I don't eat sorry. Like you gotta do X, Y, and Z, or you have to do yada, yada, yada. So I just really, that always stuck to me. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration for that last piece. And also just getting that apology that I know the person won't give me. I just kind of tied those two elements together and really made like my best favorite piece.
It's tremendous, tremendous piece.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my favorite one. I love it. I love closing each and every reading with that. And I thank you so much for your time, so much for your ears. I'm so excited to hear some reading. I'm very excited. So
Oh,
yeah, and
Jennifer, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's give her a good round of applause. You can unmute yourselves.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful,
And I
wonderful,
agree with Ro. I could
beautiful,
have
courageous reading. Yes,
Oh,
wonderful,
we
wonderful.
could just so strong. We could have listened to a lot more.
oh,
How do
thank
we get your
you.
book?
I'm sorry.
How do we get your book?
Oh, I will put a link in the chat. Of course, of course. And I don't know if there is time. I do have one encore piece, but if there's
Sure.
no time,
No,
okay.
we don't do encores. So yeah, please do it. We love it. We'd love to hear it.
Okay, I have one more. This is another favorite one. I feel like they're all like my favorites because they're like my babies. So, yeah, here it goes. Love me gently. I have been beaten by gravestones of possibilities, wept tears of grace poised at the edge of the end, structures crumbling upon the fears of tomorrow, for I feel it will never come. Living in the repeats of yesterdays over and over, new days stuck in the past over and over. Can a promise be kept in times like these? Endings floating in the ashened clouds, looking for a place to land, find a home in the homeless. How do I land? Find ground in the times when the earth shakes at the new tragedy of the day. How to swallow the travesty of being in times like these. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And definitely I'll put information in the chat. This is like my baby. It took me 10 years to finally get one, the courage, and two, put it all together. I think all the poets in the room will definitely agree that we are one of the most self-depreciating groups, in the sense, like, every time we write something, we're like, oh my God, this is horrible, burn it, never see the light of day. So I finally was like, you know what? Like, some of the pieces aren't for me. Like, I know they're my babies, but they're not for me. It's for someone else to listen to, someone else to hear. So who am I to say you're not going to like this, or you don't need to hear this? Like, I let other people decide. And if it resonates, wonderful. And if it doesn't, then hopefully you share it with someone who really does need to hear it, especially I feel like anxiety is kind of pushed to the side. Anxiety is definitely something that I feel like nowadays it's getting a little bit more conversation, but coming from like a Hispanic household, like, anxiety is just something you just get over it, or it's just, it's just something you got to grow out of, and it's really not the case. And then it's very difficult. And I think the book, the way I've laid out the book, like, the book has no pages. The book has a lot of geometrical shapes. It just really visually shows you how anxiety is, because it's very hard to differentiate what is your voice and what is anxiety. And they both sound very similar. So trying to sift through that is very difficult. So I personally feel like the book does a really good job in kind of showcasing that, and how anxiety branches off into all these different little areas. But
Oh, wonderful. Jennifer, thank you so much. An absolute delight.
oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
And speaking of absolute delights, here comes one of our favorites, uh, Dee Dee Doreen Spungin.
Thank you so much, Tony. Jennifer, what an honor to read with you this evening. That was just beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And thank you all. So let me start. No strength in despair, with an epigraph by the philosopher Maimonides, who said, each person must see himself as though the entire world were held in balance, and any deed he may do could tip the scales. No strength in despair. White flag at half-mast, I won't capitulate, as blood smothers the earth. I no longer see pain. I am pain. There is no strength in despair, but the battle tramples my peaceful soul. Damned fool, still thinking, still dreaming I can make a difference. The storm of evil catapults dreamers back to the garden. The gates closed. Only snakes allowed. They plant seeds of destruction. I stand firm, armed with a hoe. And this one is called Relativity of a Stubbed Toe. Pain that comes and goes its own way, a matter of minutes. You forget about it. Don't bother telling anyone. It's not memorable at all. Not even the moment it occurs. Like a broken nail if you care about such things. Like being cut in lines at the supermarket. Like a mosquito bite, even though its itch remains a while. Like being told no about almost anything. Like losing a game, even a big one. Offer these to the child who crossed the street at the wrong time or crossed paths with a gun. Offer them to the parent who birthed that child. Offer them to a country invaded, or the victims of earthquakes or fatal diseases. This is the principle of relativity. Can it be made any simpler? Gathering. A gathering of random dreams, circulation of unused air, together an army of fists ready for the latest battle. The news doesn't care if you cry or rail at its moaning. The tiger's escaped and he's roaming. He claws at your finest intentions. Did I mention your conscience? It's up for renewal, but everyone's at a convention. The next poem is called Comatose, but the spelling is COMMA hyphen TOSE. Comatose. I've been thinking of giving up God. I've been thinking of giving up God. Grammar doesn't matter in the eternal skies. Statements made from joy or grief rise to the occasion and are heard. You can be at the edge or the beginning. Ends are not accepted wherever there is. A voice whispers or booms. Giving up is a temporary place. Think about our lifelong friendship. Get back to me in the morning. Sleeping on the problem, a rocky road. Mornings come if you're blessed. If I wake, I'll know. And so this one, taking a chance on light while making a cup of tea, a Zen moment. Flash of broken beams head for outer darkness. There's only emptiness beyond my present life. I raise a magician's hand, sweep it through the dense air, watch the disappearance of what was. I open my door to what is, sweep yesterday under the bed, talk about tomorrow, about what will. Forget about what if. I take no chances, cut this recipe into a cup of Earl Grey, stir it hard and swift, drink the potion down. There, done. It has become a part of me. Tomorrow will be filled with yes and promises of sunrise, starshine, smiles. But no one will recognize my poetry. My husband is here laughing at that. So you know how sometimes we take things for granted, we take people for granted, and I just thought about this particular person. It's called Just a Job. The bus driver, hat tilted at an angle, keeps the sun out of his eyes. He owns our lives, the icy streets, a challenge for a lesser man. This bus driver, not young, not old, serious, Maine, reticent. I try to engage him in a quick exchange. He keeps his eyes on the road. Strangers enter his privacy, day, night, sit in his chairs, demand his attention, make him go where they are headed. Does he return to a happy home, a place to hang his driver's cap, put his feet up, listen to the news of her day? Not a hard job, one would think, but lonely and always the same, unless an argument breaks out in the back or the weather is particularly bad. The bus driver delivers me to my stop, allows me time to dismount, doesn't say goodbye, never said hello. I will forget him as my feet hit the pavement. Thank you. So a little bit of surreal, Dee Dee. A mixed briefcase, Coca-Cola in the afternoon. Meet the Dalai Lama and the Pope. Both of them are swearing they'll never touch another drop, but the scaled wall is steep and they have no choice. Jumping is out of the question, and truth be told, truth is all they have. A swearing in of sorts. They have brought their toys with them, and the flock roars, kneeling in a puddle of tears, of prayer, of please help me because I've lost my way. And way in the back of the room, a panda lollygags his way to the bar. He is barred from the drink, barred from freedom, and will live domiciled in a gatekeeper's residue of dreams, clinging to the next meal, the next time he might see Paris, or London, or China, home where he sang with his mama. And the little children in the front row kneel to the Pope and the Dalai Lama and call upon their childhood to save the world. But no one and nothing is left. The saving is yesterday or tomorrow, but it sure as hell isn't now. This is a poem that first appeared in Gail Teller's anthology Toward Forgiveness and appears in my book, which I'll talk about later. It's called Hair. Today, a gentle breeze combs my hair. Remember how those knots challenged your hands, hands that never meant to hurt? But I would cry out as the comb dragged its way through my waist-length curls, and I doubted your love, could not see through the pain. A child's ignorance is lifted, but it takes almost a lifetime. We pull the combs through heads of hair we swear we'd never harm. Our children serve as teachers as we finally learn our parents' love, in spite of pain, the loving kind it takes so long to comprehend and to forgive. And while we're on this type of poem, this one is called Only a Mother. Looking in the mirror of other kids' eyes, we come running home to mother. Tear-stained cheeks, insults and taunts in our ears. She'd tell us how beautiful we are, how perfect we are. Dry our eyes, fill our hurts with milk and cookies, tell us they're only jealous. Assure us of her bottomless supply of affection. Convince us we are worthy of living, the kings and queens of the earth. Teach us to be kinder to those who are cruel. Only a mother could love us that way. Only a mother. Thank you. Ducking behind old dreams might be a coward's way out of this nightmare. But hear this. What good am I writhing in pain for those I cannot help? What good is it to outshout, tear down, accuse, run amok? We've been here and there before. Feeling useless becomes almost comfortable. Lay back and watch or turn away, turn the world around, the wish of youth. So off they go, thunder at their heels. Everyone means well, right? Just turning the soil so something new can grow, but leaving enough soil to bury what no longer works. Burial, the new broom sweeping clean. How clean the floor, how empty the earth. Headache of 100 disbeliefs. I read, but I also know. Having been on the planet, having read the words, heard the words, having seen too much, I become a juggler and my neck aches from turning this way and that. But heart is never intact while hate clouds the picture. X-ray my brain, CAT scan my soul, lower the flags of disbelief and those of blind belief. My ears are busy with music. Music, not right, left, or wrong, just sound that says rest. But my headache says no, the news says no. No rest for the earthling, no rest until answers make sense. That maybe never. I know, because I have seen so much. I know because I know so little. It's a game of kill or be killed, hate or be hated. I weep because I was there in the time of love, in the time of hope. I was there. I close my eyes. I listen to the music. Noise releases planet. There's hope in the silence of a moon gone rogue. Gather roses and dead things. Burying is a tribute to completion. Winning becomes the piece of hearts, a card no one seems to deal. Questions written on a tombstone, answers sung in trees. I quit the game, take my fishing rod, find that trail I lost in childhood. This is called Still Early Rescue. Especially on dim mornings, sun hiding, or has it been exiled, rekindling the power of astonishment? The constant, sometimes hidden knowledge that this is a world most beautiful and generous. Bending low in a moment, almost prayer, almost meditation, I am discovered in my doubt. A pinprick of light decides to abort the darkness. I rise in renewed revelation, astonished once again. Thanks. So this poem appeared in Whispers and Shouts, an anthology that was edited by Judy J.R. Turek and Gail Goldstein some years ago, and it's called Summation. He speaks, she listens. She speaks, he pretends listening. In the beginning, they were all ears and heart, even writing love letters in the sand on scented paper in blood. In the middle, hallmark flowers, hand-holding. Don't blame me. I warned you that night the moon was full, the air silken with spring promises. I saw your eyes, the starlight and hope. This page ripped from A Spouse's Guide to Ordinary Life, or What Should I Cook Tonight That Doesn't Include Canned Peas. My husband just said, what about beans? All right, just a sec. While considering the mermaid, what would I miss most? The mermaid cannot walk, nor can she run. Don't speak to me of love or loving this fish out of water, tucking her secrets into that green gillfold, paying taxis. Don't speak of love or loving. Split personalities are nothing beside her unsplit jail. Would I be beautiful, desirable, sing sailors to their ends? I can do that. Crazy glue divisions, lock love out, swim alone, walk out of the sea, run risks. So I wrote this poem, and I was reminded of it recently by something that, some gift of what I'm going to talk about was delivered to a friend. But I don't remember the event, whether it was about me or somebody else, but the title is, I love the word benign almost more than I love the word love. And you know how much I love love, but benign, the peace of that word, the release from the hell, the falling away of chains. Declare undying love, I rub, I run, I win, I won. You give me a prescription, I fill it at the local. Live forever, horses racing to the finish. I dance like Fred Astaire. The moonlight dresses me in silver crowns. Hearts and flowers, the waltz unending. The doctor pronounces benign. You don't need to love me, free from fear. Prayer position, gratitude, signing up for life. Forever in your debt, good doctor, good deity, good luck, the fortune teller, seer, accident of good genes, a witch, a good witch, stepping in whatever makes one lucky, rub the Blarney Stone, a kiss a pig, the world right side up, and my calendar filled with possibilities. And I wish you all that word. Solution. Pages blown back by hurricane winds. Hair almost blows off my head, taking brain cells up through the stratosphere. Some astronaut will trip over them, wonder what made him think he has to feed the cats. Sprinkle my thoughts over the universe, stir up the citizens of this world, purify waters with peaceful dreams. Look into each other's eyes and discover answers. Watch skies for breaking news vivid as the sun. Rainbows will guide us to new planets, free admission. No one asking questions, wondering why you are at their door. All welcome, finally. All speaking the same language, embracing each other as if we were all human. I'm going to read this one, which I wasn't going to read because of the fact that one of my children is here. One is. And this was for my kids, so it's called Altar. This winteresque moment of icy solo, I watch out a broken window. Dreams play their tricks. Memories color my cells. There you are. I recognize the running smile, the shouts of joy. I bake cookies to tempt you back. Each night tucking you in, that was my house of worship. Whether on bended knee or in rocking chair, your light is my light. I offer cookies of prayer at the altar of labor pain. 9 months to build a home. You are the foundation, the roof, and the stairs. You are the doorway in. I will never leave. It's hard to read that one without. Okay. And while I'm on the subject of people I love so very, very much, this is for my husband, who is sitting here next to me. And this was in one of the Pomanac collections that Kathy Donnelly did so much work on. Beautiful, beautiful books. This is called Basket Weaving, and I will finish with this. Waving a spring's message, a delicate basket of hope. Cardinal he and cardinal she peck at bird food as they splash their colors. The red one is the male, I tell you, giving you space to reply, sure, the good-looking one, giving me the racing heartbeat that started our own basket of hope, now a sturdy structure of safety. The red bird flies off, followed by his demure bride. Others will come and peck, our sweet little nuthatch, a host of starlings, a sparrow or two. Our home is open to the darlings of the air who share the spoils and space with feral cats I wish I could embrace. A bit of emptiness left by my sweet indoor feline loves, long gone. A bit of emptiness reminding me of heartache residing in deep memory, your love, the balm, the saving salve, my risen soul, your magic healing. I can love the birds, the cats, even a harsh winter, your hand holding mine through cold and snow, your vision guiding me. We walk on ice or grass to every unpromised tomorrow. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Absolutely wonderful, as always.
Fantastic.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, so here, may I?
Yeah.
This book is available on and maybe Barnes and Noble. I don't even know anymore. It came out in 2020, the year of you know what.
Mhm.
Crow smells invisible. You can, I think,
Oh, good.
Oh, this is invisible.
thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. Let's hear it for Doreen, and let's hear it for both of our.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful, absolutely.
Wonderful, gorgeous
spectacular.
work. Gorgeous.
What a great night. What a great night. Thank you both so much. Okay, we're going to start our okay, Deborah Hauser, our Suffolk County Poet Laureate, I think just left us. We thank her very much for stopping in. I was going to say something nice about her, but I think she's already escaped. So, all right, what a wonderful evening, and we're going to get right into our open read. Again, I just remind everybody please keep it so that it's not an epic length poem. If you're reading haiku, you certainly can read 2 or 3 of those. That's not a problem. Okay, so let's get started. Marvin, you're up, and David Bridges, you're on deck.
This camera. The title of the poem is With Hamlet. He walks with Hamlet through subway rumble, where painted songs sing Broadway bards, between Tarryton lights and Tristan drops. Ophelia sways, drugged with loss. She gives away her rosemary and her rue. He walks with Hamlet, the street peeling potato chip bags, crushed cokes, palm readings, and the thin man bopping, gravity magician. Alas, poor Yorick, Hamlet sees the skull. He walks with Hamlet, the dark hall air full of cats. Under the steps, the man still sleeping with staring eyes. The babies cry. The babies cry. Ophelia floats away. He walks with Hamlet, his mother nods, father slouches, Jesus watches from the wall, tomato paste, beans, supper's done. On the table, Hamlet thrusts Hamlet falls, Horatio waits. Lights out. The bed groans, bodies full. Hamlet rests. Sirens wail. The babies cry. Smoke curls. The sleeping man stares in cat air. Tomorrow, Macbeth.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you very much. Okay, David, you're up, and Ancone, you're on deck.
Thanks, Tony. This is a commentary on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And warning, this poem has some very graphic images of war. After. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Bertrand Russell. After the last baby is beheaded, after the last woman is raped, after the last kibbutz is burned, after the last rave music festival was raided, after the last hands-tied body is burned alive, after the last hostage was taken to the tunnels, after the last terror tattoo is invisibly inked, after the last new scar settles on old scars, after the last body is buried in a garden because the cemetery is bombed, after the last grandmother is shot beside a white flag while 2 tanks are nearby, after the last hospital closed for lack of medical supplies, after the last doctor collapses from exhaustion of suffering, after the last tunnels are being flooded, after the last hostages are exchanged, after the last shady arms dealer stops going to the bank, after the last toothless declaration speech at the UN, after the last protesters take down their flags and signs, after the last prayers to a blood-stained God, after the last war baby was born in the fright of the night, after the last not-for-sale flour sack is offloaded from the relief convoy, after the last hungry child is finally fed by its mother, after the last politician stops playing diplomatic shuttle games, after the last weapons manufacturer's stock prices stop skyrocketing, after the last soldiers return to their families, after the last leg was amputated from a 10-year-old girl, after the last daily body count on TV makes us comfortably numbed, after the last bullet passes through the brain of a boy, after the last father nearby stops crying, after the last angel of death, fatigued, lays down, will a common security prevail as the angel of peace, soaked in blood, is bewildered, waiting for hating hearts to trigger a new shot at peace instead of themselves?
Oh, thank you very much, David. Okay, Anne, you're up, and Sherry, you're on deck.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Oh, okay. Somehow I'm on safe driving mode. Don't ask how that happened.
Okay.
All right. The title of this is called Worry. And this was written exactly 10 years ago today. Worry is the unsettling feeling that a sly pair of hands is unraveling the ragged edges on your sleeve of care. Worry is the maddening creaking of the hamster wheel in your brain at night, and you haven't got an oil can. Worry means Atlas finally gets to roam the universe because you very kindly offered to shoulder his terrestrial burden. Worry is feeling defeated by the Sisyphean list of chores you were supposed to have completed yesterday. An ancient philosopher once said, "To worry is to live in the past, and to be anxious is to live in the future." Clearly, the present is the most desirable neighborhood to live in. But then you'd probably worry about having nothing to worry about.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anne. Okay, Sherry, you're up, and Robert Rubino, you're on deck.
Hi, thank you, Tony, for hosting, and Doreen and Jennifer. Thank you for sharing your art, especially poignant for Women's History Month. This piece was published in the Long Island Quarterly, titled Bleed. With the trill chorus, leaves sing in full breeze flutters. So may it be, eyelids shudder to illume all beating hearts. Breathe. Lest dehumanization creeps, perceiving eyes of variant hues as lava stones being tossed in a riverbank, segregation of us and them. Sowing judgment, apathy, disgust of homeless, refugees, another's race, religion, gender, a differing belief. Justifying, shun, hate, defamation, assault, shots, wars. And so may it be. I, we, she, he, they. See, feel, hear, heal hearts who bleed. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. Robert, you're up, and Dale, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Voices in his head in the moments before she walks out after 18 years. Let her go, let her go, let her go, let her go, let her go. Can't change her mind, stop trying. She's been saying she's needed to leave for months, years. Must be true. Deep down, it's what you want. Be honest. Be a man. Be stoic. Awful. You can't want this. She can't want this. Speak up. Remind her of all you've been through together. Swallow your pride. Tell her you love her. Beg her to stay. She said you'll always be the love of her life. Bullshit. Believe it anyway. She's got to do what she's got to do. At least tell her that you feel sad about this. Terribly, horribly sad. She's leaving. Say something. Anything. Too late. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Robert. Always a pleasure. Very powerful. All right. Dale, you're up, and Emily Sue, you're on deck. Did I lose Dale?
Yeah,
Oh, there he is. There we go.
Judy is also here.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to come back to her. I'm going to give you one at a time.
Okay. And this has been a wonderful reading. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Dee Dee. And thanks to everybody. You've all been really good. The autobiography court. The ambulance that will carry the last part of your death is still several blocks away. You can hear its siren, the police cars too. You can't fool yourself. They're on their way. The police car carries the judge who will judge your autobiography. Bet you didn't know there's an autobiography court. If you did, you'd want it to be open just for the last ravings of that guy on the subway last week, yodeling on his cell phone as the whole car tightens to endure noise like light that's intense as a star or an explosion, and everyone hopes that he doesn't melt down the car around them. You do have good hearing. You can tell those sirens are for you, even though they seem miles off. And they're more important to you than that guy on his cell phone was. Maybe that's what bugs you. Then you remember a woman you talked to after a movie that you both saw, each sitting alone at a makeshift theater when you were both college students. she was trying to pick you up. You realized that 20 years after it happened. Now she's even further away than that guy on the subway, but she's still part of your autobiography. And the ambulance is coming, and the police car. And without her, without her, without her, they're coming for you, just for you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much. All right. So Emily Sue, you're up. And then Jack, we're going to go to you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jennifer and Dee Dee, for sharing your work. This one's called Grief's Shadow. I didn't know this was the book I needed to read until I began and then couldn't stop crying. How had I forgotten so quickly the separation, isolation, desolation, the quiet that blanketed streets, broken only by sirens unrelenting, the fear of touching what others had touched, of inhaling droplets of danger hanging in the air, of being beholden to those who were willing to work and shop and tend to the sick and dying. This book, written inside grief's shadow, tells how far we've traveled and how much we've already forgotten. The book is Lucy by the Sea by Elizabeth Strout. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So Jack, you're up, and then Judy Wells will come back to you. Jack, it's good to see you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. This is called A Glance of Presence. There is a glance of presence. We know it when we receive it. We try to grasp for it, and we watch it drift away. When it comes, we hope it will last forever. Yet a fog comes in, and the sight is blocked again. It's a glance of affirmation, and we know we belong. Its source is from eyes unseen. We pine for it in our prayers. We hope for this when we are weary. We perceive it as a guiding light. We see it in the darkness. We feel it in the aloneness of a loss. Sometimes in the flowers from the ground, sometimes in a blowing wind. A friend of mine says it's always there, and you are blessed when you can feel it. There are times when you are the emanator, and you are called to be the glancer.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you very much. Okay. So Judy, you're up, and Margaret, you're on deck.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the beautiful readings tonight, the features and the open readers. I'm referring to an Irish instrument in this piece called the bowron, and it's a goatskin drum. It's sort of like a tambourine, but it doesn't have the metal shakers, and it's played with a stick. And I was inspired by a St. Patrick's Day concert that I went to last night, and I remembered this poem I wrote quite a while back. The Ancestors' Dance. For all the dead of the Great Hunger of 1845 to 49 in Ireland, and for two bands, Keela and Dead Can Dance. The shaman plays the bowron and the ancestors dance. Yes, the dead can dance. The shaman plays the bowron and the ancestors sing. Yes, the dead can sing. The shaman plays the bowron and the famine dead rise from their graves and sing away their grief, and they eat. Yes, they eat their fill of meat, and they eat their fill of cheese, and they eat their fill of plump brown potatoes. Yes, the dead can eat while the shaman plays the bowrun. Then they dance. Then they dance away their grief, and all the dead children from the coffin ships rise from the Atlantic with seaweed in their hair and form a chain with their hands across the sea. And they dance. Yes, the dead can dance. And they sing. Yes, the dead can sing away your grief, and they can play. And they can play percussion on a goatskin drum with their bones till the whole world's dancing with the dead. Yes, the dead can dance, and they can sing. And what they sing is, yes, you will join us. One day you will join us, and you'll sing and you'll dance to the bowrun of the stars, to the bowrun of the spheres, to the bowrun of the planets and the moon and the sun. Yes, you'll dance to the bowrun of the moon, for the dead can dance.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. All right, Margaret, you're up, and Bernardo, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, Dee Dee. My poem is titled My Irish Heroes, Westlife. Epigraph. Boy band defined as a vocal group consisting of male singers, usually in their teenage years. Generally, they perform love songs. Wikipedia. Thank you, Shane Filan, for carrying your baby face into adulthood, making me feel younger too. Thank you, Nikki Byrne. Your sex appeal on stage gives me reasons to scream like a teenager again. Thank you, Keon Egan. Your smile matches your charm, captured on my phone. Thank you, Westlife, for 25 years. Music I've downloaded, albums I've kept, your CDs, these European souvenirs, YouTube videos I continue watching. Thank you, Westlife, for crossing that pond, leaving your aisle, bringing your parents, your wives, your children along, who sat amongst enduring audiences like me. Thank you, Westlife, for finally making it here. Thank you for your arrival in time for St. Patrick's Day, lighting up the Empire State Building green for us. Thank you for reinventing this prideful holiday. Many years mine were spent in the darkness of yesterdays. Thank you for your shamrocks, Irish accents, Guinness beer toasts, your Ireland flag beside my American one. Thank you for your melting pot of concert supporters, Irish, British, American, Canadian, and Asian too. Thank you, Westlife. Your love and appreciation felt from your large stage presences into a small fan-filled seat of me. Thank you, Westlife. I'm Irish once more. Thank you to these once teenage boys, now grown men. Thank you, Westlife. I feel Irish inside me once again.
Thank you very much. All right. So we're gonna go with Bernardo and then Larry McCall.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the readers. Jennifer, thank you for sharing your brave truth. And thank you, Dee Dee, for those poems of hope and love, those nice little snapshots. This poem is called Tabloids, and it does what the opening sentence does, what I try to do from time to time, take a word and create other words that spell it out. Tabloids. There are bombs landing over in Damascus some days. They raise questions that teach lessons, that kill innocents, that terrify residents, that set precedents, that raise more questions, that praise promises, but do not raise the dead. Tabloids say hate destroyed the Palestinians who were standing in the way of the attack on Hamas, who were standing in the back. Underneath, in the midst of all of this, and held a grip that would not slip, even with uneven challenges of balance on the scale. Tabloids say he is too old to be in control of all of this, all the decisions about conditions of America and its promise, economic stability. Is it senility or is he just slowing down, which is a way for all? Does he still fight for equal rights, global warming, care for health, armed forces stealth, student debt, global respect? Then why do so many yet deny, hide, lie, and avoid choosing to use the rhetoric of tabloids?
Thank you very much. Very powerful. Thank you, sir. All right. And Larry McCoy, you're up. And Idarenian, you're on deck.
I mailed a letter yesterday to Rupert Murdoch. This is part of it. Rupert Murdoch, Chairman Emeritus News Corps. Dear Mr. Murdoch, I once shared space in a newsroom with an Australian who hyphenated the word today. It annoyed me in the breeches and elsewhere. These many years later, I'm annoyed by the failure 3 Saturdays in a row by anyone at News Corp or anyone employed by your company to deliver a copy of the weekend edition of the Wall Street Journal to my home. The main reason I subscribe to the weekend edition is the fine writing of Peggy Noonan. Peggy and I worked together in the 1980s at CBS News Radio. And as far as I know, Peggy never hyphenated the word today. God bless her. I frequently disagree with Miss Noonan's political views, but she's a terrific wordsmith and makes reasonable arguments. Is there not someone on Long Island where I live who could be hired to faithfully deliver the weekend edition of the Journal? Does your former employee Bill O'Reilly still live on Long Island? I suspect he's underemployed these days and might need some extra spending money, not to mention some fresh air. I worked briefly at CBS News with Mr. O'Reilly. I'd rather not talk about him. I promised my 4 grandkids I'll try harder to cut down on my cussing. Please help. Sincerely, Larry McCoy.
That's great.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. And I spent more than a few days at the beach with Peggy Noonan, a fellow Massapequan. Is good friends with ours, and I agree with you 100%. But I think I tend to be closer to her in politics than you all are. All right, wonderful as always. Thank you very much. Okay, Idarenian, you're up, and Pearl, you're on deck.
Hello, everyone.
There she is.
Yes, I'm here.
There you go.
Jennifer, that was amazing. Dee Dee, the rest of you, it's been a wonderful evening so far. I'll be reading The Wonder of Grief. What happens to the tears not shed? Do they evaporate with time or move from your eye to the front of your heart? What happens to grief not grieved? Does it fizzle away with the cares of life or wait for the opportune time to leap from behind, surprise, and engulf you? What happens to the hurt and pain not expressed? Do they get hidden with the others or get merged with the ones that escape to be revealed? What happens to questions not answered? Do they start to lose meaning and importance? Or do they fester and grow until answers are uncovered? What happens to words not shared or exchanged? Do they get locked into the depths of your mind or released into the wind the best way you know how? I don't have all the answers, but this I have heard. For his anger is but for a moment. His favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Joy comes in the morning. Okay. Pearl, you're up, and Ro, you're on deck.
Okay, kiddo. Color. Why is the sky blue, asks the child. Is the sky blue, asks the philosopher. Why is the earth brown, asks the child. Is the earth brown, queries the scientist. In all manner of shades, shimmering on the wings of birds in flight, dipping into seas and lakes, streams rippling over rock, toads sitting on lily pads, insects buzzing on fields of flowers, mountaintops in graveyards, infant skin and elder's hair, conflagrations and quiet meadows, savannas and crayons, throughout the chaos of this life, pulsing with blood, bone, and imagination. Throughout it all, color runs, flies, crawls, seeps, bursts, or does it? Is all a mere inking over the raw lines of existence? Yet, should there be a spectral spectrum of brilliance, does it finally fade to black, as do we? Is all tint but a human construction for this otherwise bland world? What is real? What is color? Is death the absence of hue? Or perhaps there shall come a conclusive cosmic collaboration of color, a Klieg knit nova of luminescent illumination, formally elusive, entirely incomprehensible, mimicked by mere mortal imagination, only unlocked with the loosening of physical coil beyond any rainbow. Maybe.
Thank you very much. Okay. Row, you're up, and Mark, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Oh, loving every minute of it. Thank you, the featured poets and everybody else. Okay, I have a short one. It's called Satisfaction. I wrote it after I read this article about what's called the snub list, the Oscar snub list. Anyway, the title of my poem is Satisfaction. Wrote it last week. Satisfaction can come from a place of very little possession. Often, dissatisfaction from a place of abundance. The Forbes 400, one example of disappointed folks. The haves envying the have-mores listed above them. The Oscar Awards, another example, where the snub list is as long as Pinocchio's nose. Once a famous journalist asked what the most common trait among humans was. A satisfied smirk across his face answered, dissatisfaction. On the weekend, I packed a bunch of clothes in a slightly undersized bag. My sons were impressed and complimented me. My response was, had I planned it better, I could have done a better job. Ha ha. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ro. Appreciate it. Okay, Mark, you're up, and Sal, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. The shovel propped. My life has been an open book. However, on this night at least, reclining here under blanket on couch, pen in one hand and notebook in other. The mind is blank as the page unwritten. The sound unheard, yet eardrum remains taut. A fine line barrier between the reality of time and place and the fiction that fills its lungs and exhales, but is rarely noticed audibly. Only noticed and heard when it is flawed, labored, or full of snot. The sense of silent heartbeats just beyond my perception propel me through the void of the moment, a drumbeat to a song unsung, but belongs to the mystery of the next minute, a tap, tap, tapping of foot over floorboard, of synapse over buried memory, a heap of mud flung across the abyss, then patted down to obscure its presence. All I see is the shovel propped against a gnarled tree nearby. Of this I tell you, as this page of the book is flipped off.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Okay, Sal, you're on deck. I'm sorry, Sal, you're up, and JR, you're on deck.
Cool. Thanks, Tony. This one's called How Long the Pang This Child Before Me Departing. Abrupt is when, in blackened verticals, the droning hum entered the ears, the distance widening, an unwanted sentinel pale in adhering to orbit, ever circling darkness, never to find opening to wedge with opportunity or connection or stewing remorse. The past, a child only present in waning footsteps, still looking up with dire optimism at the tinging of grabbed utensils in open drawers, cabinet doors soft slamming, rubber stoppers loose from adhesive, orphaned ice cubes fading into floor, evaporating circles like intangible longing, the grasp of departure, a retracted tether dragging detached ground, nerve endings yanked, dangling in echo chambers of the heart, synaptic messages misfiring a morose Morse code to spark an emptiness bare of any tinder, the dimming strobe for what wants safe return home. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, I think we've had everybody except Judy. Once again, I will end. Well, I might read a little something, but we're going to have now Judy J.R. Turk.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tony. I so needed this tonight. Wonderful. Okay, so for the month, marching on. Father and mother reign over time and nature. He moves moon, sun, and stars for her, seasons every plate he dishes to her, showers her with gifts to reign at her feet. She dons foxgloves, cleans and polishes snow-dusted gardens, kisses crocuses awake, even as snowdrops fall, sets roses to growing, buttercups, the faces of smiling daffodils. He hails the earth with cartons of kittens and puppies, meowing and yowling for stormy thunderbolts to stop, pelts of slanting rain to cease falling, start calling bouquet bounties, and early harvest to rise and shine. She trumpets forth with voluptuous strawberries, bushels of corn, petunias, peas, and zinnias, countless cucumbers, and slice-worthy tomatoes, bright-eyed daisies, pansies, and Brussels sprouts. He monarchs an end to balmy days of spring planting, mild, unseasonable weather halts in furrowed rows, squalls of crystalline flakes fall, swirl, and eddy. She knows he hates Brussels sprouts. She will not be fooled with, bares her breast to rain milks of almost summer, seeds to settle, to dig beneath frozen layers of loam and peat. He knows she always gets the last word. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. I don't do it every week, but I'm going to read an older one here. The Land of Sidewalks and Lawns. They were 20th century sodbusters, pioneers of the latest frontier that expands between city and farm a land of sidewalks and lawns. The men of my youth were rough-edged, raised on city streets, honed tougher by service to their country in Europe and the Pacific and Korea. Whether it was the pull of the green grass or the push of the new faces, they left the old neighborhoods and followed their post-war dreams to the land in between, where the concrete ebbed and the hedges flowed. They cut their own lawns, fixed their own roofs and pipes. They didn't call the guy, they relied on each other for a tool or a helping hand. Their plots of land parceled out by Levitt might only be 50 by 100, but when they went to church on Sunday, they gave thanks for their blessings, as proud of their land as Scarlet was of Tara. The men on my block worked with their hands mostly, and when asked what they did for a living, they rarely gave a job title or even an employer's name. No, instead they said with pride, I build F-14s, or I built the new school across town, owning their work product regardless of their pay grade. I cannot prune a tree in my yard. I cannot prune a tree in my yard or swing a hammer in my basement without thinking of them, these quiet men of my childhood. Clean white t-shirts, tightening lug nuts, strong tan arms tensed, a lucky strike dangling from their lips. And that was a lesson on how not to read a poem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's open up your mics and give a great round to our applause to our two features. And I thank you all for thank you all very much for a wonderful open mic.
Great evening.
And I wish you all a great evening.
You too, Tony.
You too, Tony.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.